or maybe a different avenue for getting a spot. Of course, Pro League was always one of the more open ESL tournaments. We do have the veto here on your screen as well. Nuke, Mirage, and then on to Ancient. So I do believe that in the previous matchup, Sashi didn't have the opportunity to play Nuke, and thus they will be pretty happy to get that now, and we are very quickly into it. So not much setup, not much breakdown. The Counter-Strike on your screen's quite fast, which I think is what we're all about over here.
Yes, indeed. And on cue, we're going to have a very quick round. Fast trade in towards Squeaky. A-site overran almost immediately. Not so next level at the moment, are we?
See what they could do with the Julies here, I suppose. A flash over the top, but indeed, it does feel a little flat. Coming in together, but no heads presenting. And I think after the Julies start ringing out a little bit, the T side have gone, okay, let's just respect this here. We might lose 2 or 3 players in quick succession. Onyx takes a goosh, and that will indeed just force the reluctant save. It always is in a pistol, and even that is apparently going to be difficult. Worth mentioning, Sashi, loads and loads of Counter-Strike played for them. They've just been representing Team Denmark over at the European Esports Championship, so they are very, very warm. Me and Neo were trying to figure it out earlier. Not quite sure if they are still playing from Kosovo or not. By all accounts, and given sort of the travel situation and whatnot over there, I think they probably are. And then all that's really available to them is like reliable internet cafes. So an interesting experience for them, I think, if that is the case.
That would be unreal, especially given some of the other results they've had so far. Yeah, that adds a level to this that most teams wouldn't have. Fast round here. Keep it simple up against the pistols. See a lot of teams taking it slow, but Sashi decides to press the issue. Got some fast rotations here. They have to win these initial engagements in towards control, or indeed, they will get overran. So, looks fairly comfortable for Sashi. Just really the goal from here, isn't it? To keep as many bodies alive, keep these guns going, and build some economy.
Yeah, digits being punched in, and I think they might get their wish. Again, it looks to be sort of tail between legs. Save here from TNL. So, looking good for Sashi. I think also, again, as we were quite quick into the map here, I think they started early, it would seem. Probably Sashi especially ready and waiting to get going. But the Nuke pickup here, actually a really good map for both teams. It kind of is Sashi's go-to. If it's available, they will pick it. But I think that, in theory, this could be a pretty difficult one. Also, I don't think they'll... Oh, no, they are. Okay, so they are on here. The results are on HLTV. These guys did play, I think it was off stream if I remember correctly, but these guys did play over at the European Esports Championship. So there's a bit of like recency, rivalry and all that kind of stuff going on. So hopefully we are going to be in for a competitive game here. A good fun competitive game for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think given some of the results so far, Sashi maybe now are the favourites to claim that Pro League spot. So I think it's fair throughout this series to maybe even start looking ahead and saying, okay, if we're playing decent CS here, what do we need to see to compel us heading into a Pro League? What do they need to have right in that form there? Fundamental stuff that will be challenged in ways that they're not in these sort of games. So we'll be keeping tabs on that too. This one though, bit of a throwaway round for Team Next Level. They'd love to do some more damage though. That is, it's going to sting if they go into the first gun round only having felled a couple of guns. There'll be so much cash in reserve for the Danes.
Yeah, I think they're going to be feeling good about this. And hitting the ground in dominant fashion is a pretty good look for them right now. So T-side as well of Nuke. I think, you know, we're swinging more and more towards the T-side, it feels like, as all these peaking strategies come into play. You know, you've seen the whole double click thing recently and all that. All those sorts of mechanics do feel a little more T-sided, if that makes sense. But ultimately, 3 rounds in quick succession going to be really, really nice for Sashi here.
So this is the first time I've seen Becky play. Was Altex on this team. Becky comes in. I just looked at the stats so far for the tournament. He's right up there. in terms of this qualifier for individual players. And obviously, a very small sample size, but I think one of my criticisms in the past of this Sashi team has been that it's not always the easiest to see who the star players are on this squad. Feels like it should be lucky in a lot of the games, but if Becky's playing this sort of Counter-Strike, that completely changes the dynamic of this squad.
Yeah, he's been good. I think a little looser, a little freer, right? Maybe coming in with a new philosophy as well. We're maybe starting to see the next generation of Danish players. And I think that, you know, guys like Lucky and Zyphon have had a bit of a taste of that top level. Maybe not quite cracked it. Maybe also, interestingly enough, in Denmark, sticking to the national team seems to be quite trendy for whatever reason, and not many of them are looking to like break away from that. They'd rather move down than move across, let's say. But yeah, for me, it also seems like Cabby's stepped his game up a bit more from what we have known classically. Don't really have too much time to go over the point. Sashi are going to pick up the pace here and try and test the A setup. In this first rifle, Knife gets caught. There's the aforementioned Becky coming alive. Really clean finds here. Not a single kill, not even one that comes close for TNL. And Fleerax, of course, will save.
This feels like the definition of a nightmare round for the CT side. It never got engaged. Lose the first frag getting aggressive, and then just completely overwhelmed as they try to transition. That will not be one they want to remember. Let's see if Fleerax here can get away with this AWP. He certainly alerted the hounds, so he should be corralled soon. Play it in the vent is going to make this very awkward, and indeed. That AWP does not survive through. What have they even got here? 1, 2, 4, 5 kills in 4 rounds. That alone is a pretty horrifying statistic.
Yeah, not nice at all. While we're on the conversation of travel and where people are at, I think TNL got back yesterday and then immediately straight into this. So that is also another thing to kind of consider, that they might be a little fatigued coming into this matchup. Sashi are just consuming the Counter-Strike right now. You remember the reason why you signed up to play this game, and they're certainly playing like that.
Obviously, the turnaround here is extreme, but from my experience in the past, it's not uncommon for teams that have played through a player break to hit the ground running a lot better than more established teams that...
Sure.
How do I phrase this? More closely observe taking the player break off. The lower level you go, the more likely a team is just to play through it. Higher up, some of the bigger orgs, they'll almost enforce that players don't play through it. Or at least the majority of it.
Yeah, because I'm sure they would love to keep the competition going, especially teams like Vitality. Bit of a scrap here in towards main. Actually going well for the low buy, which is kind of scary. So Lucky's going to have to clutch things up. That's that bomb plant. Here's the player moving down the vent. Oh, he was looking for the fight at ramp, but Dowie was already in and cleanly takes his head off. So that's the first round. That's the way that TNL are going to do it.
Pretty clinical. Knifey there. Putting in some good work. And, yeah, kind of felt like it was going to be a non-start of a round, but off a couple quick entries. Very hard for Sashi to navigate. But that is Nuke. You're so confined as the T side at the start of these rounds. If you lose numbers, good luck getting through the choke points in a good position. So, I guess a little bit of a lifeline for the Ukrainians. But we're yet to see consistency on gun rounds. Intriguing to see if they change their approaches a little bit, different setups. Obviously, the aggression on the last gun round wasn't ideal in the end. So we'll wait and see. Bit of a pause, but not too long. We're back underway.
Yeah, hopefully not waiting too long in those pauses. We did have a few earlier. I think, again, it goes to the theory of where Sashi are playing. Supposedly some pretty good PC setups and whatnot. They were quite happy with the rigs at the event, and it would seem similar to like Mongolia. It's a bit of a religion out there. People just hang out at PC cafes, so I think they are decent for sure, but never the ideal environment to be playing.
You put it mildly. I mean, I like the idea that some kids just playing Minecraft to the left of them at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
Someone starts downloading a game and
exactly,
the whole room has to wait.
Or like there's an aggressively loud Skype call going on somewhere in the corner.
Yeah.
In the local language, of course, to make it even more difficult. Oh, wow. Certainly anybody that's been around a long time will have memories of that sort of thing. But let's focus on the here and now. Oh, good nade. But somewhat of a double-edged sword, isn't it? Exposes himself. Quick kill elsewhere as well for this T side. And it's a really difficult position now for the CDs. They need to take a massive risk to try and get back into this round.
Dowie looking to do that, and he will have his head taken off, so not looking good. Ken is aggressive. Maybe, just maybe, in from Hup. Oh no, and Onyx comes in at the perfect time as well to catch them in the side. Unbelievable. 2 versus 5. Turn 1 on 2. They have certainly let this one slip. Can Lucky clutch back up? The answer is no. And TNL just able to squeeze that one out. Sashi will be kicking themselves.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I somewhat understand knowing a player's stuck hut and wanting to get on site and round onto him, but if you just break down the logic of the situation, you're in a 4v2. You know one player's A. We'll do the sums. How many players can be B? Well, 1 maximum. That's the logic you have to work with as a team, and I'm surprised they didn't pump the brakes, because in that sort of advantage, they didn't need to take any risks. Let's see if they can right those wrongs. Zyphon with an absolute ripper of a kill, but his teammates just being absolutely pinched in this crossfire. Flyrax there braving the flames. And wow, this round has not gone well at all for Sashi.
Yeah, maybe a bit of tilt coming in from the previous as well, right? Felt a little lacking energy. So you do worry. You do worry. I mean, the series earlier was kind of weird in the way that it went down. They started off really strong on Inferno, then lost 13 rounds in 14. So basically, you know, getting completely reverse swept. And then it was like 13-5, 13-6 or something like that. And I think that there was a little bit of a cosmetic comeback on both maps. So, you know, really, really strange way to win the series out. They played very well on Ancient, which they don't normally do. So I think there's a lot of, like, just going with the flow. They don't rightly know where the rounds are coming from sometimes. And yeah, you can see the timeout comes in. So I think losing that 2v5 has set them sideways, and Hunden's got to come in and just straighten them out once again. There's a lot of Counter-Strike to be played here in this qualifier.
It's been a bizarre map so far, because every round Sashi's lost, they will feel like could have gone very differently. So they need to clean up their act. Of course, we mentioned, of course, at the start of the series as well, that you're going to look towards Sashi potentially winning this qualifier. It's not going to cut the mustard, is it? Making those sort of mistakes against a top 10 team in the world. So they need to right these wrongs before they let these CTs get too much into the game. What have we got? A second barrage of outer smokes comes in. But nobody's actually going outside, Squiv, so I'm not sure the CDs are going to buy this too much.
Yeah, they do look prepared, don't they? The Molotov is good, but they go ahead of it, really, before it starts threatening Dowie. He gets 2 before he even takes damage, it feels like. Lucky struggles to get his kill, so it's looking very, very good here. Ken, too smart. And it will be down to now the low HP Zyphon, who I think was double dinked there. Not quite sure, through walls and things like that, through the corner of the vent, maybe. But his days are numbered here. He's got a flank coming in behind him as well. Down he'll go. And a very quick even up here from TNL.
There's a lot of what I describe as all-in rounds from Sashi. These calls where they're going to hit somewhere fast, somewhere early. They don't really have any information. It's not a totally unusual way to play the T side of Nuke. I just somewhat feel like the rounds they did win were just slower rounds. Or they're just picking the CTs apart and playing a bit slower and using their coordination. Becky on the lurk towards Inner was getting so many kills. I'm a little bit surprised they feel like they have to force the issue on these rounds so much. Of course, that could change. But these are the things they need to be questioning, surely going into later rounds on this first half.
Cheeky spam. Got to be careful. Onyx on the reload. Yeah, it's given them the space that they need to just close that gap a bit more than you might expect. They're after him now. He does well for one, but that's all he's going to get a lineup for Knife. Clean find. The 3 versus 2 now. But they're not really in the most comfortable position to get the bomb down. I think TNL might just have done enough to keep them at bay. A lot of people down here already. Mac 10 against the world. Good for one, but he's pretty unhealthy. So surely nothing coming here. Trying to run them down, but it's just not going to happen. And a lead now for the CT side.
The damage isn't too bad. It might be inconsequential given the number of rounds left in this half, but I guess they could run out of money if they lose the next two, the CT side. So let's see. Straight into this for Sashi. I thought they might burn another of their pauses given the way the last couple gun rounds have gone, but clearly they're confident in whatever's in the wheelhouse. For now, looks like a pretty standard default. There are a lot of players here towards outer right now. Barrage of util towards the inner side of the map. As they poke and prod outer. I guess they're hoping for some over-facing CTs. Let's see if they can traverse and get space this time without being spotted.
Gonna have to, really. As they are once again suffering the consequences. And they've not done anything with it once again.
They're so stuck.
Really
look at this. They haven't even got past the red crate, and they've lost lobby.
Yeah, this is a pretty awful spot to be in. I mean, they do have the AWP for Lucky. They do have the sort of double pump, which is maybe what they're thinking about here. Yeah, so another set of outside smokes. Really strange mid-rounding. Knife's found a gap. Oh, he jumps the gun way too early. Never really had that set up, and now he is also trapped up, but he's looking crisp, and he'll get the double. No way. 3 overall for him in the round. He shut it down. There's no way they can get back in now.
Yeah, that felt like the one window, wasn't it? Where a player was a little bit out of position. Lucky, he might even want to save this AWP, but that is not a possibility. TNL are on a spree of rounds here, and Sashi, who did play a really fabulous first couple of rounds in this map, have just completely crumbled. That round, they got overwhelmed by an early ramp push and just totally stifled on outer. But I somewhat feel like they dug their own grave because they didn't get any space on outer, did they? They just used all their util and just stayed on the silo or stayed back. Yeah, they're either really slow or they run fast rounds and all die. That's how it's been for the last 6 rounds.
Yeah, a little wild. I think, again, just some of the long Counter-Strike days getting to them. And this just seems to be a team as well, kryptonite-wise, that they do struggle against. TNL have been quietly grinding things out. And they made it all the way to the final over at the EEC, and it was Lithuania. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
I
you were
saw
keeping
that.
Up, but
BMAS and the boys.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Yeah, so they'll be a little disappointed with that. But when it comes to this sort of head-to-head matchup, it feels like TNL are a bit more in the heads of their opponent. See if that continues being the case. Quick 1-for-1, quick vent dive.
Onyx is here very early, and I don't think Patty was ready for that. The bomb is... It was actually a safe plant. What a shot from Cabby. It's a shame Flyax there doesn't have a little bit more damaging util, because he could have flushed out that player. Knifey here very early, though. He's over the bomb. And there's a player still towards top side for this T side. Becky's in behind. Knife is sticking it for now. This is very awkward. And yeah, just gets defused, and Lucky isn't even there in time. Obviously, that round's just a half fight, but this is getting hella chaotic for this T side.
Yeah, for sure. I think they're just pretty impatient. I was having a little look as well. This is the map in that series that was kind of one-sided. It was only a few days ago now, so I think that Sashi have not really had time to work on it. But then it does also feel a bit interesting that they would then pick straight into it. They've also not played Nuke today, if you want to look at it that way, right? So, you know, a little strange for sure. They lose Inferno in this matchup, I think, is the big thing that kills them. So they don't have a lot to lean on in terms of, like, where would we go other than Nuke.
Could be an element of they've watched the Nuke game back and said these three things are going to work really well, and they haven't worked at all. That happens quite often. Few plans survive first contact, and Ken, well, he has survived that contact very well. 2 kills for him. T-side is, again, just completely zoned out from having any options. They can't save its last round. What do you do? Pray for a good fight.
See if they get that. Becky heads down. Cabby's already in there. Ken at the back of the site. And then Onyx with the AWP trained and ready to go. Patty can't make it across, so not looking good. Just 2 remaining now. They have a broken window. Not sure if they've done that themselves. Either way, they'll now reveal what's going on and just try and brute force their way in. Onyx with the trade leaves it all down to Cabby. He's got the bomb on back. It's about all he's got going for him, really. Head spotted. Can't find the shot just yet. Back of the silo, but there's 2 players coming in that single door, and he will indeed fall. It was already open, I think. So that'll be an 8-4, 8 in a row from the CT side. We'll see if they can continue the streak after the half.
Gotta plant new seeds in this ground. Don't let yourself be troubled or think on yesterday. Keep on moving, come on, don't stand in my way. Some people wanna pull you under. Some people wanna make you cry. Some people rolling in like thunder. We gotta fight the feeling. We gotta do it right. If the hustle and grind breaks your stride, do your turn and blame the other side. If the hustle in your mind makes you decide, it will crack and strip you of your pride. Oh, but there's hustlers, stealers, liars out on this road, and they'll feed the fire and watch it all explode. Gotta put those flames out before we burn it down. Gotta plant new seeds in this ground. Don't let yourself be troubled or think on yesterday. Keep on moving, come on, don't stand in my way. Some people wanna pull you under. Some people wanna make you cry. Some people rolling in like thunder.
Welcome back in second half, getting underway here. As we mentioned, TNL with 8 in a row, looking, I suppose, to make it 13 in the ideal world. But it does begin with the pistol, which is always a bit difficult to predict. We once again have a super fast one, at least to start, but a smoke comes in and that'll stop their plans for now.
This feels like a must-win pistol for Sashi. I'm loath to use the word momentum, but if it does exist, they don't have any of it. 8 in a row lost after a pretty... I mean, TNL had, 5 kills, 4 rounds in to that first half, and then win 8 in a row. That is a hefty role reversal. And now we need some traction. We need something for Sashi to get engaged, and it's not working whatsoever. A-site is already overwhelmed. We need a miracle from heaven. Aptly named, I guess, but these engagements don't look good. Good positions for the T side. The bomb isn't planted at all for heaven. I'm amazed Zyphon even gets this far, to be honest. How is he not dead? That is ridiculous. How is he not dead?
Oh, my God. Oh, my
How have they lost that?
I mean, that is nuts. That is nuts. That third player, especially, I'm pretty sure was, like, on top of him. He needed 1 or 2 bullets, and he's just unloaded a whole mag and missed, like, the entire thing. Wow. Wow. Yeah. I don't quite know what to make of that, but I think Sashi might have just got a second wind from an absolute miracle. Definitely divine intervention on that, I am sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. We don't normally use the word miracle, but that was one of them. I hope for their sake they can convert on this, because it would almost be poetic in a bad way if they get that opportunity and then throw it away against Galil's. So let's see, what have we got? 3 players out for this T side, and it's just going to cross full contact of much util. Got to win the initial fights. You're going to go for that sort of round, and it hasn't really worked. Couple kills, but it's not enough. Bombs, not on Onyx either. And Sashi do indeed survive the force bite.
All right, let's see. This could be a big change-up for them. A big, as you said, role reversal, really. TNL, I think, still going to be reeling from whatever the hell happened. And they're going to need the rifle round to set them straight. But if Sashi have got something cooking, we might actually be back on. You know, it looked like the energy had been sapped. But that's the game of Counter-Strike, man. It really can flip in an instant. Looking good here as they hold the line against the pistols.
Do you recall the scoreline the last time they played?
13-7 on this map, I believe.
Any particular side of total dominance in that?
I can have a little bit of a look while we're in this lower round. I think it was one of those games that was like off stream, so I know that they had lost it, but let me see here. Actually, no, they didn't play Nuke. I think that was against Germany that they played Nuke. Yeah, so there was no Nuke in it. It was Train and Ancient. So I do apologize. A little bit
okay.
of,
well, at least that change tells us that
from...
Sashi have changed their tone since then. Decided to go back to a map where they seem to be comfortable. I don't think they've looked that comfortable on this map so far, but rounds are rounds. They're in this map. All will be forgiven, I guess, if they can convert on this CT side and make a good go of it. I'm still a little bit apprehensive. I saw a lot of mistakes in that first half, and I need the CT side to be clean. I can't have the same errors.
Ken slowly down. Oh, Cabby. Get your gun out, my man. Okay, Ken really could have capitalized. He's still going to catch him. Just completely unaware. Shadow betrays him. As per usual, Lucky gets a flash in here. Can't hold. So TNL back on it. And again, some of the laziness creeping in once again for... We'll just say Cabby, but, I mean, even the ramp hold didn't look great.
Yeah, instant save call. Can't blame them. Money is a little fragile for the CD side, and they want to ensure as many gun rounds as they can. So not too bad. I saw that Ken is one of the highest rated players in this qualifier right now. So he's been on an absolute ripper so far. Presumably a big factor in the bigger scalps they've taken in this qualifier so far.
Oh. Well, that's a shame. The nuke radiuses are kind of wild. Very difficult to read at times, you know. I'm sure he was only 3 HP away from surviving or something ridiculous like that. But
As is the way.
It'll have a small effect, to be fair. Money is still not perfect, so with the buy coming back in from Sashi, I think, you know, you want to survive with as many players as possible, of course.
Got the aggression from Zyphon. Way up close. He's got Lucky nearby on the AWP. Player towards Mini as well. That is Patty. So let's see if they can prevent this cross. I think they will. You see the deeper smokes come in. Ken has no idea, and there's nobody else here. There's nobody side. There's nobody on top of lobby to react. The only option here for this T side is to go ramp, and I think the CDs are pretty well set up. Missed shot from the AWP, but it doesn't really seem to matter. The crossfire is good. They can fall. There's 3 players lower. They completely surrounded these T side players.
Ooh, Onyx. That is a big find. It looked like he was caught. 1 HP. Doesn't survive much longer, though. Fleerax, meanwhile, he's also being red, but doesn't push in. Not getting too greedy. This is not being considered. Late. Zyphon will check it, but again, the trade is there. Just too many numbers, too many men to get through here. And Dowie not ready for Lucky on that angle, so Sashi with a big response. It felt like that could have been a real backbreaker.
TNL weren't remotely ready for that aggression at all. And as we kind of pick up on it, it's not just the aggression, it's the information. It's the Zyphon gets a kill and can tell his teammates there's nobody else here. It's definitely not a standard outer round. There's bolster somewhere else. And ramp, indeed, did have a couple players ready, so that's the way CT Nuke is supposed to work. T-side money is starting to dwindle. It's going to be pistols for sure if they lose this round. So let's see. Outer smokes landing now as TNL start taking some space. The bomb is out there. Leave one player in towards the lobby. What's the next move? Go down secret. We're going to go through these smokes. How do they want to play this?
Well, indeed, the million-dollar question. Oh, misses. He's gathered some information. It's a great response here. Lobby crunch. There's no one on the receiving end just yet. Knife around the corner. He actually wins the fight, though. So I think it just gets better and better for the T side, really. They've got the run-of-the-mill down here on B, and Knife does his best to be annoying. He will go down, and that starts to reveal the picture. Zyphon around. Can he put up any kind of a defense? They're going to need him to do so, and he goes down to the deagle. It's way too easy. Trades back round on the AK. Fleerax pushing down. Patty. It's just not enough. And again, as I say, way too easy to get into that bomb site, and they will capitalize nicely.
Yeah, I'm thinking through the... So what did Sashi know? They knew that 1, maybe 2 players at least were down secret. I think is a reasonable assumption. And they crunched lobby with 4. And the question I'm asking myself is, did they need to keep 4 players there for so long? Because, yeah, they were so out of position for lower by the time the hit actually came in. What have we got here, though? A very, very quick change of pace. Early flashes actually fully blinds the entering player, but it doesn't matter. He does his job. Even unsighted, even blind, he completely attracts the attention of Sashi, and within 15 seconds, they're already calling a save.
Yeah, absolute madness. This game is going from bad to worse, unfortunately for Sashi. They did, answer. They have kept up, but
they won both
they
pistols,
just don't
man.
have the same
They won and
consistency.
converted both pistols, and it might just be me, but I don't feel like they're in this map anymore. They're just starting to crumble on the gun rounds again.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, this is the thing. I think there are some difficult moments against this team, but it does just feel like they're lacking a bit of the get up and go. TNL, the CIS teams, I mean, they can play under like any parameters, but I think Sashi are starting to get a bit fatigued. That being said, they just were playing the same sort of Counter-Strike, going through the motions against Fnatic earlier. Didn't work on the first map, and then they just woke up into map 2 and 3 and absolutely flattened them. So it's hard to read this team at the moment.
They will get punished in the end, though, if they keep allowing opportunities. The other way to look at this sort of series as well is Sashi's done the hard work. They've beaten some big teams that really wanted this Pro League spot and are investing a lot more behind their players and have more resources. They've essentially already done a lot of the hard work, and they're playing a team here who, yes, are qualified and skilled and well-versed at Tier 2 or Tier 3 Counter-Strike, but Sashi's beaten better teams. And they're making too many mistakes here to be in this map at the moment.
All right, let's see. Do they have anything left in the tank to keep it alive? The big question. Utility to just get us kicked off, but TNL not really presenting too much. It's just little things, isn't it? The utility feels a bit better from TNL, slightly wider, slightly more intentional. Whereas Sashi, we had a number of rounds where they just kind of threw the outside smokes, didn't know what they wanted to do with them.
I feel like there's much more kind of diversion and, making it difficult. There's a gap there, though. We got a missed smoke. Maybe one landed on a Molotov. That is very handy information. Sashi will not come off playing 3 on A proper and a player heaven. This will be an exceedingly difficult A take if TNL go into this.
Molotov not going to do much. I feel like that smoke is not quite on the mark. It's quite wide. There's space behind it as well that they can push through. Becky ready to go. The other boys making a lot of noise to just kind of bait in the eyeballs to them. And Becky has capitalized. Now they've got to deal with him. A quick reposition here from Patty up high. Really going to be hard to deal with. Still down to the 3 on 3. The AWP is in. Lucky gets it on the crack angle. He's got coverage from Patty. And it leaves just one. Has slipped the net slightly. But surely now that he's known about, he has to go down, you think. He doesn't know where this third man is coming from either. And indeed, he will be finished. So, skin of their teeth stuff, but Sashi have been bailed out there.
Yeah. Still not quite sure what happened with those outer smokes at the end, but it's quite an obvious hole, obviously, in the offense. If you don't sell Sashi that a player could be lower, there's no reason for them to come out of the sort of positions they were in. And there were 4A by the time TNL tried to get out of hut. Tricky stuff. So, bit of a window, I guess, for Sashi. Neither team has any money here, so pretty critical round to follow. And TNL are going to drop the pace. More of a default round. Deeper smokes here. Quick nade to burst them. And what is the move this time? We're going to go down secret again. We're going to go through these smokes and start wrapping outer. The bomb's way back, so that will not be down secret before these smokes have faded.
Cabby blocked off. Zyphon, though, in the pesky deep angles, will be a little bit betrayed by his teammate, as Cabby is unable to assist. So it's 2 from Zyphon, but it might be in vain here. TNL actually find themselves in a really good spot. Low HP. Patty, who is trapped, just about manages to survive. Very lucky indeed.
I wonder how well TNL are gauging that A is overloaded right now. They've seen one player See nothing outer. Becky's just starting to try and wrap around here on the roof of lobby, but he'll have to make noise, I think, to get up onto the silo if he wants to actually hold that position. A timely reposition, though, from Lucky, and I think TNL will be loath to use util here. They want the element of surprise, but that is worst case scenario against an AWP. Knife holds the flank, though. This is a absolute Mexican standoff on the lower side of the map. Must-win duel for the CT side. And it is. Onyx, though, is on a tear. And he's going to go for the duel. Look at this. Waits for the door to open. Can't win it. Massive round for Becky. The youngster keeps them in the map.
Damn. Okay, I mean, this is, again, getting very, very chaotic, very unpredictable. Which way is it going to go? 11 to 10. Sashi with a close back, and honestly, they look so done. And then just a mental pistol, and then a very back and forth few rounds. But TNL, they found consistency. And you called it. You said, listen, this feels like it's pretty much over, but a bit of a fire under them. You never know what is going to cause the Counter-Strike to get started again. And Sashi, with a few really close rounds, have kept themselves alive.
Certainly have. It's very late for a first pause, but I guess the game has been so in the favour of TNL from that start onwards. Didn't feel like they needed it. This one's just a half buy, though. So, probably actually discussing later gun rounds in this pause. But still plenty of util in the mix. Got a 1 AK2 on Ken. So they certainly got options. They could run pretty much a fully set round here. Plenty of smokes to put towards outer as well. I guess the main question is how you get this AK into a position where it can do a good job. Find an opener, create some space, cause havoc in the ranks of the defense.
Nice find from Patty. Really nice kickoff in a round that you just need to go smoothly. Don't want any trouble here. It does take him down, though, so just as I'm singing the praises, we have an overface over there. It's Cabby on the edge of the smoke for 2. And that, with a bomb drop, might be enough to take the round. The Hero AK, which seems to have really started creeping back in again, does not find anything. Cabby hiding away. He's got a teammate to bounce off of here if needed. I don't think it will be the case. Yeah, Fleerack's not checking his angles. It's just Onyx.
Didn't expect that angle. Don't blame him. Huge plaudits to Cabby in this round. Once Onyx got that kill over towards kind of lobby or squeaky and got down the vent, just imagine how good players coming down Rampart on the T side when you've already got someone in control to fully hold the lower side of the map. It could have gone south very fast. But Cabby stands firm. It hasn't been his best game, but he earned his paycheck on that round. 11-11. We didn't necessarily expect this at times during this map. But guaranteed the full 24 now. And money is not there for TNL. I didn't realise, but they invested so much into the previous round. They've actually dented their buy here.
Yeah, maybe an oversight, and this is what I'm saying. The Russian AK, as it was called, has sort of crept back in, maybe to the detriment of a few teams. Lucky will open up here as well, so, you know, going from bad to worse, this would be a hell of a slip-up from TNL. They were in the winning position and maybe got ahead of themselves, started thinking about map number 2 prematurely. The glass saves Cabby's life. Is there anything else on the cards here for TNL, though? We'll gain some space and should be able to get the plant.
Should be the operative word. Can't eat chickens just yet. There goes the bomb. Knife had to find kills there. That was the best chance they're going to get. As Sashi players weren't quite sure where to look. Now they're looking for fights. And it is very composed from the CT side. All they need to do is buddy system over here towards Fleerack. Indeed, they do. So it's 12 for Sashi. It's been a turbulent map, to put it mildly. But you're right, to give them credit, these last 2, 3, 4 gun rounds, they have looked a lot more like the team that we expected to see today.
Yes. Yeah, and I think they know that it is indeed capable. But when they can call upon that, I don't rightly know at the moment. So, difficult to know. Are we going to keep getting this cleaner version of the team as we approach the tail end of regulation? Or the very end of regulation, I should say. But is there going to be a little bit more? And of course, TNL, CIS, Rottweilers, man, they can really, really pull around. Out of nowhere, Dowie will open up. Ken was seconds away from sneaking in behind. Patty incredibly low. Still does get one. Look, he's come around. It looks good. It looks good. Not a great start to the round. Not a great start to the game. But Sashi will manage to take it with 1 round to spare. 13-11. Absolutely unheard of here from them. And, well, they're looking to get a bit of revenge on Team Ukraine, also known as Team Next Level.
Yeah.
He's obviously not in the server. He can't control the game too harshly. So, yeah, difficult for them right at the tail end there to keep it together.
Sashi's been in this position more times. That's certainly a fact here. It was last year, wasn't it? In kind of spring, wasn't it? Where they had a few big qualifier results in a row. And really made some waves as they touched the kind of pinnacle of Tier 2. They were hoping to do the same again as we get into TNL's map pick. And my God, Scriv, what they would give to win a pistol and get some rounds early in the half.
Yes, absolutely. And just put a gap between them and their opponent. Fleerax going to get flashed. He turns away from it, but it's still enough. Meanwhile, with that coming in, they're pretty savvy that B should be weakly defended. Patty does well. It's Zyphon that holds a big kill. There's a gap in the smoke. Absolutely massive gap, and it is fully abused. Not even going to get the plant here after what looked to be a pretty much bare B bomb site. They will be pretty disappointed with the failed smoke, and after losing 13-11, that is not what you want.
No. No. Sashi take another pistol, and it's no plant for TNL, so should think they'll just full eco this and get AKs with lacking util out in the following round. Sashi's reign of terror at the start of half seems set to continue. And I guess best case scenario, and even then it's a stretch, would be a bomb plant for this T side. Face Cabby here at range. They do drop an M4, but Zyphon's here with another. So I don't foresee much ground being gained here.
Zyphon. Kind of a trapped angle, so he does have to be careful. Onto his USP. Alright, he doesn't have to be careful. He's fine. He's lovely and clean.
Wow, they didn't save it?
Can't retrieve that next M4. Yeah, that is kind of an oversight.
I honestly thought they'd already grabbed it. Yeah, that is... Seems small, but it's quite an obvious thing, isn't it? The player who dies tells his teammates there's an M4 on the ground. What's going on there?
Yeah, that is certainly the kind of thing for me, though, that might just get overlooked when you've been grinding and grinding, but a little silly. And they will have to expend some cash to get another one out. Interestingly, I suppose Cabby is really keen on the M4, right? Not just getting a cheeky FAMAS or something like that. Really wants the M4, so might see him do something with this round.
Okay. So util is pretty good for this T side. See how it's dispersed. Early window smoke. No surprises there. Top mid 2. And actually a third smoke coming in as well. That's towards connector. So a lot expended here for TNL. It'll be interesting to see over this half if this default set of util continues. Lucky gets aggressive, but is trading. In the meanwhile, another player is found. TNL could just commit here towards B. Going to keep prodding and probing. R2 in defense, though, now. They've really taken their time with this. I think they missed the window scrim. I think they actually have to wait now and let the CTs react next.
Okay, Zyphon will just swing in dry and find the double dink. Trade is there just about, but goodness, what a couple of rounds this guy is having. Onic, unseen. Windows.
These smokes,
that's
man.
not the lineup.
These smokes.
It's not the lineup. You know, you get one maybe, but whoever is throwing that, it is not working. So please stop.
It's been a bad day for TNL and the U2. I don't know what's going on.
There's no way it's like intentional, right?
Nah, it can't be.
You know, trying to bait someone out, it would just be weird, I think, trying to do that. Double-edged sword for sure. Oh!
What does Patty think he's achieving here? Surely he can't win this round. He's completely surrounded. How's he going to get on the bomb without getting faced? And he cannot. Yeah, very unusual engagement, though, obviously, as he comes out the doorway. That was odd.
Yeah. That's like a pugger's angle or whatever, where like if you look down correctly, you are kind of hidden away a little bit. And obviously it took him a second to spot him. But I think the idea is you meant to like look up once he's sort of run past you and shoot. He just kept staring at the floor while the guy was on the site. So, you know. Austin CS did a whole video about it, and I think maybe one of the TNL boys has watched that. But either way, a funny way for it to go. Lucky will take the first. But I was just going to say, I suppose Patty on the MP9 could kind of do that again, right? Take some guns away and see what they achieve. And it looks like in the follow-up, they achieved quite a bit here, actually. Furak's going to go down to the nade. It's just Dowie remaining. Caught on the reload. Oh, big find. Yep, Becky's low. Just one more required. If he can get the head, which he does. Oh, perfectly lined up. Incredible 1 versus 3 for Dowie.
This Sashi team likes discipline sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's tough to watch.
I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe it's just the sheer burden of playing so much Counter-Strike in the last, let's say, a week. It's compelling them to try and finish things faster. That should have been their round every day of the week. And they were just throwing so many men into the fray. Unnecessarily for actually a lot of the round. Overeager.
Yeah, they will be in a dire position now. Deagle on a 5-7. Might be able to get something done for the CT side. But it's TNL. After such a clean start, I think you said, didn't you? You know, like if they can just find a smooth beginning to the game, that would be really quite nice. And Sashi, again, it has kind of escaped them. They did get the pistol again, but some of these rifle rounds are just a mess.
Tried and true B split and Taiko. No surprises there. Let's see if Sashi can deny any of these guns. They have got a couple players now backside on B. The Deagle unlucky. Trying to force out a headshot angle behind bench, but... Ooh, okay. Wow. That is monstrous. Playing wide. That empty corner, he finds 2. Where are the rotations? It might just be USPs, but if we can get a good crossfire going, this is not necessarily easy. There's a flank coming in the meanwhile from Cabby. Can he get a good fight? Sees the back of his planter. Oh! Dorvy's wide. And that is absolutely agonizing. There are so many worlds where Sashi win this round.
Yeah, again, going to be a difficult one to stomach. Maybe not as difficult as, obviously, the full buy-ups, but they're going to feel robbed a few times in a row now. And regardless of how it happens, when you are a player, you're not really going to look at it as objectively, right? There's going to be a lot more emotion associated there, a lot more of, oh, if only I hit that shot. Whereas from our perspective, we can see that you're not supposed to hit that shot at this level of the game. But indeed, a tough one to stomach. Let's see if they can keep the mental strong here, Alan, as they go into another rifle.
If for nothing else, they have done tremendous damage, so... There is absolutely scope to force TNL onto pistols in the near future. But now a very default stance from the CT side. There's no AWP, so... Lucky is forced to play a rifle from kind of stairs top connector at the moment. As TNL begin to surround. Looks like an A hit to me. Bombs outside of ramp. Util now in towards window top connector. Very standard set. So this shouldn't alert Sashi too much to what's coming. Do they make a move? Becky does. Lucky goes looking as well. I don't blame them, Scriv, but they have just walked right into the lion's den. And this A hold is non-existent.
Patty in from CT. Oh, he's flashed. I mean, the Molotov wasn't perfect. Maybe could have found someone before the bomb went down. I mean, even that in itself is a nice shot. Which doesn't really mean anything at this point. I'd probably take a timeout here, you know. This is just spiraling in an absolute flat spin right now. And TNL have got good potential to run away with this first half at the very least if this continues.
It's getting a bit out of control now for Sashi, isn't it? Maybe they need a pause. I just feel like this round they were so passive, and then when they were called upon to find information, it was kind of an afterthought, and admittedly the timing wasn't great for them, but they were never in a good position to take info. There was never any util. There was never, you know, already somebody close ramp that had heard what was going on or whatever, someone who could push Palace, anything on B. They just didn't give themselves a lot of ways to react in that round, in my opinion.
They will take that timeout, though, which is good. And hopefully they can do something with it. Maybe not so much into this round, but it is, of course, that follow-up. Got to be very, very important here. As scoreline severely getting away from them. And it should be another one here for TNL if everything goes to plan. So, yeah, it's a scary kind of prospect at the moment. And Sashi, after, I think, really putting the energy into the first map again, we have to continue talking about this fatigue factor. And it's creeping into a few of the rounds, isn't it?
Certainly feels like it. What have we got here? A bit of a head stack. Cabby off angle. The timing looked brutal, but he does actually make it up. Caught a little bit out of position now against this apartments fight. They need to win early duels here. Lucky is gone. Cabby called upon, finds one. Zyphon forced out by this empty Molotov and just gets completely surrounded. So, I'm not sure much is going on here. Good trade. And all they need to do now is have somebody holding these apartments. And it shouldn't be possible for this CT side.
Bomb's not gone down yet, but indeed, the 5-7 will be thwarted. Again, in isolation, it's good damage, right? You can be happy with it. But Sashi need to close the gap. They need a couple in a row here, fend off the rifles, break the bank, or we're just not going to have a conversation about this half for Sashi. So, really important round here. They do have all of the trimmings, as the saying goes. The AWP out, in particular, I think is something that we've not really seen too much of on Mirage.
It's actually not in a great position. They're playing off catwalk right now. These players get out of apartments onto the site. There are good duels waiting to be found. And they indeed find them. B-bomb site totally overwhelmed. Sashi were fully planned on fighting mid, didn't they? They had so many resources, and I almost wonder if TNL are you know, they're playing a mind game. They go for another B round after they haven't been very successful. Last thing Sashi expects, clearly.
Really starting to get problematic now, I think. You know, it is early doors, but map 3 feeling likely unless Sashi can turn things around. This was off the back of a timeout as well, which is where you would hope there is a turnaround, there is a better idea. Obviously tried to get something going, but TNL got their number here, and although a difficult pistol with the failed smoke and whatnot, I think they're not super mentally busted, which, again, could really have been a case.
Where's the playmaker for Sashi? Been such passive rounds. What have we got here? It's 3A, so maybe something's going to come out towards ramp or palace mid-round, but it's another round where they're opting to give a lot of room. Sashi have taken a bit of a risk here by saying it won't be another B round, and that is the correct assumption. So they have got A overloaded. The bomb is heading that way, so the guess is correct. So at least in a macro sense, they look in a better position to me than in the last couple rounds. I've got to make good on that.
Smoking towards window, looking to split A at the moment. I mean, they're set up. It's a lovely, well-timed push here to maybe discover that ramp is clear. Is that going to give the wrong message, though? Zyphon getting himself into a dangerous spot now. He spots the player out in Palace. That'll be the bomb as well that he's just spotted. So maybe an oversight from TNL to let that happen before they start moving in. All the same, the strike doesn't look too bad. It's all on Becky for me, who is in at ramp. Unexpected. Knife deals with him quick. Down to a 2 versus 2. Dowie in window. Surely should have been communicated. He'd already got a kill from there. Completely sideswipes Patty, leaving Lucky with the clutch. And they are acutely aware of his position. The drop comes in. The bomb will be felled, but he misses the all-important shot. And another close round, down to maybe just one little moment, goes against them. And I think for me that moment is overlooking window and something wasn't communicated properly.
Certainly feels like it. And again, if we look at it from an overview position, they had the guess right. They guessed right that it was A. They had a timely ramp push. The odds were heavily in their favour, and still they get a little bit blindsided despite having such weight of numbers. This has been a really tough CT side for them. And this might just be a half buy, but we're getting into territory where they just need rounds. They need wiggle room heading into the second half. And this is a good opportunity. There's 3 still here in defense on A. Can they get some decent engagements? Nice trade from Lucky. Cabby unsighted under balcony. It's just knife here with 2 men to face. And they're going aggressive. They're going for the fight. We saw this not work out earlier. This time, just about. But my God, they are raising the heart rate of every Sashi fan at the moment.
Yeah, it was a little close. It was a little. If he had the bullets, I could have maybe seen him finding that, but he ran out of ammo. Goodness me. Talk about working hard for the rounds. Going to have to close the gap as much as possible now. They have finally broken the drought. And we have seen already in this series and earlier today that they can just sort of switch it on whenever they like. But, oh, not a good start, as Fleerax was ready and waiting for that. Cabby down below will catch him. Again, it just feels a lot of these fights are so laboured. I think the hands, the eyes getting tired here for Sashi. And we'll see if they can stay alive or if they fall asleep at the wheel.
I guess Fleerax thought it could be 4A again. I felt a bit overzealous. Becky goes looking. Did he need to? Was there information elsewhere? Were they that scared of B being overwhelmed? Either way. This is a position the city side finds himself in. Lucky has to do work under the balcony with the AWP. Is awkward, to put it mildly. Zyphon, though, massive kill. If he can hold Palace for his teammate, as he's trying to do. Oh, my lord. What a round from Lucky. He should have been a dead man under there. That's their
Sashi
first rifle
again.
round off the map as well.
Yeah. They are maybe spurred forwards a little bit. You remember, it felt like on Nuke it was down to... I'm trying to think. Though, I think it was another low-buy round that really like spurred them forwards. I know they had the crazy pistol. But it does seem like they need these really big rounds and, you know, Hunden behind them screaming nice or whatever to just kind of give them a bit of that energy back. It's going to be a fast short move here. TNL, oh my goodness, final bullet from Cabby. I thought maybe they would get away with it with him not finding anything. Patty down below, he's got an AWP to back him. Patty will go down, does a bit of damage. They retain an advantage. Bomb plant not really going to matter here. It's all about winning the round, which is looking still doable. But all three CTs charging out on towards B. I mean, a wild sort of game status. They'll bump into each other in the smoke. It's a pretty big door. Neither of them figure it out, but it will be traded at the very least. Knife, however, he's found the head, brings it down to the one-on-one. Lucky with the pistol out as well. Oh my goodness, it's coming so very close, but it's the 5-7 that gets it over the line. A crazy way to close it. 3 in a row from Sashi to just keep them alive. We're going to take a break. Definitely need it after that. Okay, welcome back in here, folks. Quickly into it. Seems like they've got started just 20 seconds early, which, again, wild that they're going early, but they are, and they're rushing straight in towards the B-bomb site here. Straight past Dowie, but he cannot get anything done. The clocks have flattened the B-bomb site. Knife will trade 2 back. Is that going to be enough? There's a set of Julies on the way. So does that count as 3 people? Maybe. We'll see what the dual wield can get done. Smokes go down. Fleerax looking for his first victim here. But nobody giving a wide swing on the Sashi side of things. They are disciplined up. Looking to go flawless on the pistols would be absolutely massive for them here. Not a lot of time left, so CT's got to pick up the pace. Cabby goes wide, and he is rewarded. I may well have said a tad aggressive, but it makes for a double.
Becoming an air of invincibility for Sashi on pistol rounds at this point. Seems whatever position they're in is just destiny that they're going to convert. For those that missed Nuke, they did have 1 round, which they definitely should not have won. Absolutely not. I guess these are a little bit more conservative. But nonetheless, a Sashi that is not playing good gun rounds at all in this series have yet again held themselves in a map. That's pretty wild. I mean, what did they win in the end? 3 gun rounds, I guess, in that first half. Depending how you look at it. And we're about to have a 7-0 scoreline. That's pretty tremendous. Hunden's probably already got a 50-page deep list of things to work on from this series, despite winning it.
Yes. Especially if they are going to continue here. You know, we got the upper bracket to get through if they win this. There's the lower bracket, which is obviously, as per usual, a slog. So, yeah, I think a few things do indeed need working on. Because a lot of scary teams here, man. Upper and lower be damned. I think whoever you face, it's always a hard matchup. No one home here on 8, so it should be an easy take. The utility will start to discover that fact. Nice quick stuff there. Scares 1 away. I think he might just have been heard. Careful round the corners. You never know who you might be walking into, but Lucky's AK is certainly feeling just that. Oh my goodness. He just squeezes in before they manage to spot him, but then they peek in, and it's actually the first guy that takes him down. See, again, kind of an oversight. Maybe send one of the Galils in for that, bro. Like, save that AK. No one can retrieve it, and that is a one-tap machine into the next round.
Okay, they're not going to chase too much more. Plenty of players, though, coming towards T-spawn. Sashi smart enough. They know an AK's out in the mix. They don't want to face a headshot angle. So, not too much love lost. As we get into the first gun round of this second half. Can they get an AWP on this CT side? Doesn't look like it. I did wonder with the saves if they could get one out. But not quite. So rifles across the board. Plenty of util. So no excuses in that regard. And let's see what they choose to go for. Play it early out window. Knife in the meanwhile catches Zyphon. Zyphon pushed the ramp molly. What a brutal start to this round. Sashi have just thrown the absolute kitchen sink at this.
Yeah, mental. I mean, they've got somewhere to be, maybe. But it does not work. Still got the bomb in hand. So, unlikely, but not impossible. Lucky down below, trying to just catch someone on a rotation. But no one is presenting at the moment, so he's going to have to start moving in now to back his man. Unfortunately, A is that harder defended bomb site at the moment. 2 in at jungle. Feel like Lucky gets 1 and goes down at best, which is really not what they want. They need a multi-frag moment here. Patty in from Palace, but again, nobody on the open angles. Lucky spots 1, but as I said, he's immediately traded, and there's no way out for that bomb carrier.
Okay. Well, that was a very flat round from Sashi. I kind of wonder what the plan was. Maybe they were quite confident there was no AWP, so they were happy to play super contact heavy, but they threw caution absolutely to the wind, and it was a hurricane. It blew away. This round, they're force in. Their loss bonus is low. There doesn't... there's no real surprises there, but they have such little util to work with. I feel like they need an opener. I think they need an entry kill to even have a look into this round, because how do you take a site with this little util on Mirage?
Yeah, it's a very good question. But the brute force has maybe worked for them at times. Is this going to be one of those times? It kind of has to be one of those times, to be honest. At least a bomb plant. And as you say, creating those parameters, pretty tough. But they are being very, very, very cheeky. What can we get away with is kind of the question of this round. Late smokes to confirm the crosses, and they will move way earlier than I think Dowie was ever expecting. A spam through the smoke does a lot of damage, but not the kill that they need. When the pacing change, the scaling into the bomb site has been good thus far. Nobody can land a market window smoke to save their life. I think that's a CT smoke, to be fair, so maybe I am jumping the gun slightly early. Nonetheless, the numbers are going back in favour of TNL. Plant comes round. Lucky trying to even up the numbers, but he is denied. So Patty going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting here, and he is not the healthiest looking at the moment. Really going to be difficult here. On that off angle, flash comes in, he turns away, they walk into their own flash, both of them. Oh, he's known about now, he doesn't know where to look, head on a swivel and just so very panicked. Goodness me, they are lucky to get away with that.
Saw a bit of this on Nuke, didn't we, towards kind of the latter end. A lot of bizarre rounds. And it was in those moments that Sashi just about ground out the game. This time, it feels like they're losing it. Knife there is on an absolute tear. 21-9. Dowie's close behind. 17-12. They are leaps and bounds above anybody on Sashi. And if the Danes just ran out of scope here, I mean, the money's a disaster. Patty's dropped a single AK. This doesn't feel good to me, man. In a map where they've won both pistols, this is starting to feel out of reach.
Yeah, I mean, how many more times are they going to get the Deus Ex Machina, I suppose? And surely we have to lean on the side that, right, they have traded in their luck, traded in their 3 wishes on the previous map. But as we always like saying, it ain't over until it is over. So got to keep it together here. And TNL have to be very careful not to take their eyes off the ball like they did on Nuke. Zyphon looking for an entry. Smoke going to get in the way. Again, as we've kind of mentioned, the Hero AK really coming back in for whatever reason. I think just a cycle for tier 2 players getting a bit bored once in a while. They don't want to go back to the hard eco, I guess. But yeah, supposedly it's picked up a little bit more recently. Nothing quite coming here. 45 seconds left on the clock. It has been a really slow round. Sashi are gagging for an overface, and it just hasn't happened yet. So, gonna have to get on their bike eventually. But still pretty slow. 25 seconds left. Patty will be the faker on A to just draw a bit of attention, but is it really going to do anything? Hard angles to beat here with no utility. They're just charging forward. Not going to happen. Dowie robbed of his clean spray down, but he will manage to find the round alongside his teammates. Double digits now for TNL.
It's officially crunch time, I think, for the Danes. And I'm nervous for them, Scriv, going to the third map, because winning these pistol rounds, getting into halves well, has propped up their scorelines big time. Just statistics alone say they probably can't maintain that for another map. So let's see, can they recover this one? It's got to start here. They need to prise open around. They need to make TNL uncomfortable in the way they simply have not at all yet on this T side. And the decision is kind of a 3A, 2 elsewhere default. Got Patty here towards B. There's a smoke behind Onyx to try and bait in a move. Either way, it's a lot of information for this CT side. I feel like A's going to be bolstered whatever happens, and surely that is where this bomb is going, given the lack of B control for this T side. So I anticipate stiff resistance.
Yes, indeed. TNL look to be indeed on the next level. I was going to say another level, but then remembered their name. Fleerax will open. Knife looking so clean. He's on the other side of this smoke. The numbers are already thinned. So, surely not a chance here. You would say, he's drawn away at the very last second. He's going to drop a few bullets. Just got to be careful. Gives his position away, but as I say, he's been looking so crisp. Dowie as well, completely unchecked here, looking to finish the round all by himself. And he will do just that. TNL running circles around this Sashi T side.
Yeah. It's not just been recent rounds either. It's been the whole map for Sashi. They're really struggling to get into these rounds. They're getting overwhelmed individually. TNL have made a lot of good calls as well, to give them credit. They've been proactive, they've been dynamic, and Sashi have had no answers. They just about survived on Nuke, but I kind of felt like this was always possible coming into Mirage. Bit of a Hail Mary here on the Tech 9s. First man in is way ahead of his teammates. Util was good from the defense to cut up this terrorist side. I mean, just look how far every player is from their teammate when they die. They were never getting a trade.
Yeah, really not looking good here. I mean, I think they have soft conceded things. Maybe trying not to let it get to them too much. But yeah, TNL have just taken off in this second half. Sashi again. Always good for a pistol, it would seem, but
yeah,
this is just the rifles again. I think it's the overall numbers so low. Right?
Oh yeah,
like
yeah. I mean, this
has
been an exceedingly dominant map from TNL. To be up 12-7, having not won a pistol and not won a force buy round behind it, is pretty astonishing. It means they are winning an overwhelming proportion of rifle rounds and not making too many mistakes when their opponents are on pistols. It's been a stellar map so far. But of all the rounds, this feels like Sashi's best position for a long time to me. And they've got to make it work clearly with this scoreline. No scope for errors. It's just Onyx, low HP on this side of the map, and he might get caught off. Indeed he does. No idea players are so far advanced. And I guess now the only option is to save.
Yeah, so I suppose better late than never. But, you know, maybe like one round earlier than this could have been good. to give yourself a little breathing room. Zyphon drops another rifle. Not really going to make too much of a difference, to be honest. I think they're saving because it's a necessity, not because they absolutely have no other options. Flirax's days feel a bit numbered. So there you go. Good to wake up and get the mechanics going. I mean, there is a really weird situation going on for TNL in the fact that it's Dowie and Knife who've had, like, insanely clean halves here. So they're going to have to keep that up. There is a real danger that the ground might just fall out from under them.
Could well be. For now, though, I have quite a lot of confidence in this TNL squad. They've just played such confident Counter-Strike. And check this out. Instant call to go double orb. Onyx going to pick up the second. Let's see where these are distributed. Looks like Onyx will be solo B to start off this round. Elsewhere, Flirax standard positioning towards window to kick it off. Little bit of a change up. And actually, 4 players mid, nobody A. Sashi takes space in the meanwhile. This is a very unusual round. And it hinges now on whether Sashi use a lot of util to clear out this position. Flashbang is pretty good. But there's so many CTs here. But some are unaffected. Flirax goes in front of the Molotov. He wants his fight. And he gets it. Zyphon might be on a flank, but it could be for nothing if this bomb is lost in a very exposed position. And wow, holding for it. TNL are next level right now. They know exactly what's coming in every single situation.
Yeah, really, really cleanly executed. And I think as we sort of went through just towards the end there, a deceivingly close scoreline, even at only 8 rounds coming in from Sashi. So really not quite good enough from them, TNL. And the answer is yes. Sashi leaning on their pistols pretty heavily and then not really able to capitalize on them. They will let it slip through their fingers, and now we've got Ancient.
Certainly. I mean, the most obvious storyline, as you mentioned, is are Sashi going to continue their reign of terror on pistols? Even if they win the pistol, are they going to convert it on every occasion? But I think beyond that, let's not forget about the rifle rounds. Mistakes, over-eagerness, TNL looking more composed of the two teams that maybe we wouldn't have expected before this series. Sashi needs to be a better version of themselves, a version as we have seen over the last couple of days, if they want to salvage this series.
Yeah, they did play this a little bit earlier on. It went well, so just tap back into that, I suppose. And once again, the pistols are looking good. Flash comes over, on it can't capitalize. Flirax gets a lucky one through the smoke. But that is, for me, all she wrote in this round. They're even looking to just back off and save the armor. Flirax doesn't have that option. Knife will take his Julies away here. Maybe. They're after him. So there you have it.
Was that expected? Was it unexpected? I guess not anymore. Sashi just win pistols, apparently. I also feel like Zyphon got an overwhelming proportion of pistol kills as well for his team. He had the Nuke Round, where he had 4, and I think he had a 3K on one of the Mirage ones too. So he has come to play on the pistols.
I suppose it's something, you know. Like I say, they have been leaning on the pistols. Surely they have to pay them their dividends eventually. Moneymaker here. Dowie will get 1 off that stack, but that is all they're going to get. Bit of chime in from the MAC-10s, but a quick throwaway round, as you would expect. We'll see what TNL have got with this first gun round.
I guess they're used to this position now. Every map just starts 0-2 or 0-3 down. Par for the course. Ken there has no money, so has he dropped some util elsewhere? Is he going to get aggressive himself? He's just towards A, but I think he's giving the mid players U2. In the meanwhile, look at this. Good spawns for Sashi, and they're just going to go. Trade's just about in their favour for now. If they get some util down and get this bomb down, especially in a great position, Flyer Axe decides, I need to be a hero. He cannot allow the round to stabilise. Ken up next tries to do the same. You can see the logic, but the trading just too good for Sashi.
Solid stuff. I think Ancient is a great place for them to finish off. We've seen some kind of sloppiness across both the opening maps, to be honest, the win and the loss. And I think that Ancient is a bit more forgiving for things like that. A lot of early fights, a lot of early swings. And so far, that seems to be what they're going for. Again, moving fast. Got the angles. They know what's up. The reads are looking good at the moment. It's a double kill for that 5-7. So not quite out of the woods just yet.
Much more composed. Remember earlier maps in this series, Scriv, they got over eager against this sort of situation and got it wrong. This time is much more disciplined. Perhaps they've learned their lesson. And TNL have guessed wrong this round. Can they get these guns? I don't think the round win is a possibility anymore. But if they can save some guns, it's not all bad.
Not sure that's going to happen. Although, Fleerax on the backside here. He's being watched for. He hears the footsteps. He knows that there's a prize awaiting him if he is patient. And that is exactly how he's looking to play this. But as always, players love getting greedy. So he kind of wants to fight if Lucky's going to come his way. And tip of the head, spotted. So there you go. There's another gun actually taken away. But he can't save the AK. So, good or bad? Hard to tell.
Somewhere down the middle. I guess he denied some money. Right. So no pause for TNL. Of course, if we're following the script of the last two maps, they're now going to win 8 in a row. Or something of the sorts. But, trends are meant to be broken. And is Sashi really about to run the same round again? 5 players fast here towards B, and yes, they will. A very ballsy call to run exactly the same move. Quick trade. They just need to flush out. Knife back here on the back of the side. There's a very fast flank in the meanwhile. And this time looks a lot more troublesome, doesn't it? Becky goes looking, but he just needs to get a sliver of a hit on him, and he's dead. Flyrax comes through the smoke. What is going on there? This is hella awkward. What's just happened?
Wow. I mean, so disjointed. They are quite lucky that I think ammo ran low. Running through the CT smoke and then the cave smoke. Can't be serious. Just wild. Absolutely wild.
Sometimes I see rounds
also in
where...
no rush.
That was one of those rounds where neither team deserved to win.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
My lord. That was something. It's all well and good, but it's put TNL. They've lost some loss bonus, and their buy isn't great, is it? 3 MP9s because they barely saved anything. They are not out of the woods yet. They need to win back-to-back rounds here.
Becky with the follow-up nade. Does minimal damage. Fleerax getting giddy here despite his low HP. Lucky up top. Lucky up top. Crash. Check. Oh, and there's his arm. And it gives full damage. That will be the kill coming across. Cabby gets a trade of sorts. But not quite the same place. The AWP remains active here.
There is an noise cue though. And Sashi starts to walk. Flyer Axe has got to do big work. Good molly. Becky challenges it. And that was the right decision. Quick thinking from the young gun. And he single-handedly wins that side. That is a small but pivotal decision in this round.
Yeah. Absolutely huge for Sashi, and they will retain their leads. They're going to break the bank again. So this game, this map is moving really, really, really fast. And Sashi are fully in control of what feels a bit more like an F1 car rather than like a plane or a boat. Although I guess planes are technically faster. Don't know. Not sure which word. They don't look faster, that's for sure. But you get the point, guys. You get the point.
Roughly. Maybe truck is... That's a bit slower. Train?
Yeah, I guess they... Yeah, train, maybe.
Train's more dependable, which I guess is the contrast you want.
I also wanted something that, you know, they can throw around a little bit. So F1 car fit, because it's like cornering and, you know, acceleration and crashes once in a while and, you know, that kind of thing. It made sense in my head.
That's all that matters at the end of the day. Your employers might judge the differ. might differ on that one, but I'm here for it. Okay, what have we got then? Half buy from this CT side. Had to swallow their pride a little bit, this sort of investment. And Sashi making no bones about these B rounds. Another one to come in here. They've got tons of players defaulting over. I almost question if they learned their lesson on the first two maps of being overzealous, too complicated, trying to be too smart. And we've just gone back to absolute basics. Numbers, trades, util.
Drawing away from the B-bomb site now. Going to look for a different avenue of attack. Feels like it will be an A move. With that mid-smoke coming in and very little B presence, they start to rotate off. Already 3 here. So this is scary now. 2 smokes in the way. Not enough time to really wait for them. So they're going to opt to go through, and they are getting absolutely mowed down. As you would expect. Knife is out. Lucky comes in late. Nothing he can do. And they just walked directly into the trap. It is sprung perfectly. TNL, the unlikely round, goes their way.
That's going to sting, given they had the right idea for 75% of the round. Bit of a lifeline for TNL. It seems Sashi, nothing comes easy for them in this series. And they're going to have to fight for this first half. They actually didn't have a lot of money in reserve, did they? Tech9 is out, Galil is out, Util already not fantastic. So they've made this half a lot more difficult than it needed to be if they just converted the previous. Oh my lord, this is getting very sketchy now. Cabby, there was good space. 2 players stuck in this corner for the TC side. And I don't blame Cabby for thinking it had to just be 1 player, because why would there be another? Nonetheless, the bomb site is overwhelmed. Knife had to kill through the smoke. Absolute chaos. Flank coming in the meanwhile from Cave, and Lucky falls to that. Bomb still hasn't been planted, and now the initiative surely has flipped to this CT side. A bomb plant here, Scriv, feels so difficult.
Yeah, wow. A mare again from Sashi. They were in the prime position. I think it was that first spam kill was the bomb drop and a Molotov on top. You know, it was just, again, a mess, and the smoke start going down. Someone maybe needed to jump in there and at least get the bomb. Maybe not try and plant in the flames, but just have control of that. Benefit of hindsight, for sure. But, yeah, another really ridiculous round for Sashi to be dropping.
Somewhat lost in the sauce, I think. They somehow ended up holding no map control. In an ideal world, you'd want to have that backlanes, but as long as you've got Cave, don't think you mind it with a man advantage. But as soon as the Knife found the kill, players come out of cave, it's just chaos. And this is the result. TNL are back in the map. Been a different map to the first two. The first two, it was their gun rounds that kept them in the map. This time, it's shenanigans. Lower buys, difficult situations. And they have force pistols, so we certainly expect that ticker to go up to 4 on the CT side before long.
Knife with a clean find. Oh, another one as well. Trying to recover the deagle. It's a deadly mission. Now got support. Rocks get a bit close. Knife. Oh, he's nearly there for the ace, but no. Not going to happen. It will be a clean round, though. No danger, which is exactly what they wanted. So let's see if TNL can snatch the lead away here at the very death of this first half.
Okay. Are we going to see any changes from either side? Very fast mid move from this CT side. This is absolute carnage. And it is the CTs to come out on top. I say that too soon, don't I? Where was the resistance? There's players pushing ramp. Why aren't we playing in towards the cave if your teammates in mid are that far advanced? This is very unusual. It won't be long till the CTs and Ts here have fully swapped positions.
Yeah, what is going on? Got Knife in a deep spot. That's kind of the only thing that we look towards. Pretty good series from him overall. Oh, timing gets the better of him. Thinking about what to do. Molotov goes down. They're going to move through it, but he is playing the engagement pretty well here. Nearly gets them both. I think the Molotov ended, and that's why Becky lives. He was definitely in the fire, but God Almighty, that is about as close as it comes. And now they're unsure of what to do.
Yeah, they don't know how good they've got it, do they? Of course, if Becky knew that A was undefended, he'd be right on planting. Even better, it would pull a rotation into Cabby, but instead, I think they're going to let Cabby make the first move. Flyrax seems to be preferentially holding CT to me. But no, still on a good angle. Has both. And now this becomes extremely difficult for Becky. There's a HE grenade as well on Flyrax. That could seal the deal. 8 seconds to go. And it doesn't happen. It was only 1 kill there in A main, but I think that decided the round. Just about did enough work.
All right. TNL, once again, just turning things upside down. Sashi, a messy round, and it feels like it just gets them. We've seen a couple of them, really, where they should take it over the line, and then the follow-up rounds are also just really flat. I think they are tired and in need of rest and in need of their own beds at this point.
We all are. After this series.
Yeah, well, maybe a little bit. Yeah, it has been a hard watch at times.
Okay, let's see if we can get anything done here and connect. The flash is pretty good, but the 1-2 punch, it is enough to resist. It's been a gutsy half, hasn't it, from TNL, as has a lot of these halves been, quite frankly, in this series. And this one they have to do it a different way. The early gun rounds were not going their way. It was half buys, it was scrappy affairs. But Dorvey there, I guess Flyrax now is catching up a little bit too, have been absolute heroes in terms of keeping this map in a good position for their team.
All right, let's see. Would be nice to just have that little notch of the final round for Sashi. and keep things as even as possible. Their pistols, of course, have been ever consistent. Cabby will catch Onic on a solo mission. Not really gone well there as the advantage swings for the T side.
Seen a few moves like that, haven't we, from the CT side, where I feel more accustomed to seeing aggression where you're hitting two places at once or you can support each other. There's a lot of very aggressive moves, but either as a double or individually like we just saw, and a bit of a Hail Mary, really. It's either going to be fabulous or you're not getting a trade. You end up in a position like this where surely TNL got to take some sort of risk. That risk is one player on the A side of the map at the moment.
Some late nades here. Try and retake a bit of control at the ramp, but Knife will lose his head. Sharp shot. Still a pretty well-defended B bomb site, though. Ken hidden away. Gets good timing, but doesn't land the headshot. Dowie with a nice one in behind. Fleerax nading to try and get out, but he gets naded himself. Oh, Patty, it's a dangerous plant. He will get away with it. Fleerax completely repositioning here. Dowie trying to draw attention back towards him. They're not ready for said reposition. Smokes are going to start to dissipate now. A spin from Dowie is all they needed. The 5-7 out. Oh, man alive. TNL with another steal, Alan.
Well, that's how you send us to the half. We'll see you in a few minutes. This is crazy.
Well, here we go. all comes down to this. A long day of Counter-Strike for both of these teams. And it will culminate in this final half. 7-5. TNL winning the most unlikely of rounds time and time again. But Sashi are yet to drop a pistol. Will this break the trend?
I guess the odds say they're going to win it. And Cabby punches in first to make it a double. Oh, they made the right call, Scrib. It's just 1 on A of all the rounds. This one, it was a pretty high win percentage for this CT side, for the Terror side. And wow, it's just completely crumbled. It just seems to be destiny at this point. The Sashi will win every pistol round. Now the bomb's down in Donut and Knife. Impossible. He can't win this.
Well, that's what you say, and you will indeed be correct. So there you go.
6
around
for
the block
6.
a few
Wow.
times. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? And I mean, just the fact that the series is not over as well, based on that information, and the fact that this one is close. The second pistol that they get here is to bring them back into the game rather than extend their lead. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
It is, I mean, and they, crucially, guys, if you missed it, they haven't lost second rounds. They've won every single second round. So, it's not like they've been at any time under big pressure early in a half. Okay, let's see if a bomb plant at least can come in. Trying to stick it. They might get this. No, just about denied by Cabby. Sting a little bit. Not even a kill. Yeah, I mean, by hook or by crook, Sashi is staying in these maps.
Well, we'll see. Very, very quickly going to be into a buy round. And TNL have been the kings of these, so could be very, very troublesome here for Sashi. Very, very scary prospect. If they can't get the rifles off the ground in the way that, you know, particularly Mirage, they struggle massively with this. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, if Patty's going to find drive-bys like that, then maybe there is a hope.
A defense is pretty weak. Zyphon has a smoke, and he should probably want to deploy that soon. No, he's going to sit back and play a more passive line, use that for a retake. Should imagine a bomb plant here is pretty damn likely. Spams through the CT smoke. Whilst they're even in terms of damage, the kill goes the way of the T side, and they might well take that. Hefty retake to follow, and a lot of util for this CT side. It's got to be well placed. That is their big advantage, I think, in this retake, is this util.
Nice Molotov. Kicks one back, but he is also back, so this whole temple area, oh, looks good. The flash is clean. Trade's there, though. And that's all they needed, really. Time working against Sashi. They're going to have to back off and give it up. TNL, kind of lucky that, you know, the resources were put into the exact place that had a bolstered defense.
Terrorists win.
Bit of a what if they hadn't found that kill through the CT smoke, but that's the game you play when you spam, especially in CS2 with, you know, revealing the smoke a little bit. So, Sashi with those saves do have enough for a good buy. That's not the concern. The concern is that they've used a lot of their money and their loss bonus is low. I can actually say the same for both teams here, so the key round to follow economically. And let's see how TNL distributes the forces. Lots of players outside of mid for now. They seem to be moving towards A. They're throwing some mid and B default util. Knife is here to at least demonstrate some presence, hold some rotations, potentially be a thorn in the side come the hit. It will be an A round, and they've got to find Lucky quickly. Offhang on top of the box. Does a lot of damage, but is traded. Zyphon deploys his smoke in front of Donut, and the lurk is perfection. Look at that. Zyphon never had a chance.
Oh, random dink, but no harm, no foul by the looks of things. The trade back of the damage, also enough to scare them off, I think. Re-smoke too. So yeah, not a chance here. TNL, again, looking good in the rifles. Looking much better in this round, in fact. So they will continue the trend of dropping the pistol and not being bothered. Very, very scary stuff here. 9-7. Sashi, you're going to have to find it very, very quickly.
I feel like Sashi haven't actually paused that much in this series, you know. Could be wrong, but I certainly don't feel like I've seen many here on Ancient, that's for sure. And then with the saves, they had a choice. They could maybe have dropped FAMASs and force something out. They've decided instead to play a longer game. So it's a bit of a haphazard buy. They've got some saved M4s, of course, but Util is far from evenly distributed amongst these players. Maybe I would have liked to see something unorthodox. It's quite standard on this defensive side. And in the meanwhile, looks like TNL going back towards a Cabby, though. Finds 2 quick kills and doesn't get traded and can fall. This completely changes the dynamic. TNL might think better of hitting this site. For now, they're continuing to look, but it's ever so telegraphed. Becky finds another in the meanwhile. That's an AK off the ground. And this is nightmare fuel. I'm not even sure they can plant Scrib. This is tough.
Yeah, that smoke is going down soon. They just about get the plant in. But a lot of angles that are sort of no-goes. They really are digging deep to try and find a super unlikely round now. It's going to have to be an ace from Fleerax. And God almighty, if Sashi let this one slip, then they most certainly do not deserve the series. But Becky will come in behind to find the kill. There's a kit. So the defuse is no trouble. 9-8. And now it is Sashi taking an unwinnable situation.
Yeah.
Usually TNL that squeeze them out.
Yeah. It wasn't quite a full-blown half-buy. There were 3 saved M4s, but TNL will be kicking themselves because they did so much hard work as they have done in this series. And it stings so much that that's the round they dropped the ball against. And it's not just the round win from Sashi, it's that they kept money in the bank and they picked guns up on the ground. They can now brunt a round loss, assuming they save at least 1 or 2 guns, and still buy in the following. That is a huge boon for them. And with his opener from Zyphon, it's going from good to great. Sashi refused to die in this series, man. Despite looking that way a lot of times.
Yeah, absolutely wild. As they will continue looking impressive. 2 remaining for TNL. What can they do? Oh, it's a quick headshot. It is a quick headshot. I'm not writing this team off until the round is over. Knife. Another. Trade is there now. Fleerax just got to do the same, man. Just got to get 2 of his own. His position going to be known. He's going to be heard backing off. But then he's back in. Okay, so keeping them on their toes here for sure. And he's got plenty of time to work with. They'll start making a move. He is smart, but they're moving towards him. So 2 quick headshots needed, and he doesn't get the second. Goodness me, it's closer than it should have been, though.
Ooh. Fleerax drops out, so we're going to have a quick pause. There we go. Yeah, I'm almost a bit kind of blindsided by how much this series has changed in the last 2 or 3 rounds. Because now it's TNL that has to save. And I'm not even sure. I mean, well, they're going to have a couple Tech 9s or something. Onyx there can buy a little bit, but does he want to get an AWP onto his teammates in a later round? I'm not sure. God, it will sting for TNL if they can't win this series. After they've just been so good on the gun rounds for the whole of it.
Yeah, certainly a difficult game to call. I think it is easy to say. And anything can happen. It's been an absolute mess at times, then some really nice rounds. But yeah, very, very questionable stuff in places that has allowed this type of a situation to unfold. TNL. What are they going to go for? The Hero AK once again is in, so let's see.
As much as we don't mind the Hero AK, I think we can both agree that we want a bit more util around it, because what's the plan? Your lowest fragging player is going to do something tremendous on an AK. It doesn't necessarily add up. Let's give them the benefit of a doubt a little bit, but Onyx here needs to do something we haven't seen all map long to justify this investment. Can he get a good angle? What is going on here? Nobody seeing each other. Bullets through the smoke. And that was chaotic, to put it mildly.
All right, let's see. I mean, they have a bit of control here. And again, just waiting for some oversteps or a mistake, as you would expect a CT side that's a man down to have to do. Onyx, unfortunately, looks away at the worst time. Just as the M4s come over that hill, they will drop the AK and another alongside for good measure. But yeah, taking the scary man down was the important job.
Timely smoke. Lucky should just be able to hold this. Players jumping through. Well engaged. And that is a hard-earned lead for Sashi. So this map's been a little bit different. Yes, they won both pistols. Yes, they converted them. But that first half, Sashi won a lot of the gun rounds. It was half buys. It was force buys that TNL were really thriving on right up to the later stages. Second pause burnt by the Ukrainians. We're at the business end, Scriv. Every round worth its weight in gold. We have seen a lot of nice set plays actually during the series from them, haven't we? So maybe that's what they feel like going for again.
Yeah, we'll see. All to play for, like you say. Back into the action. Quick, sharp. And Sashi, have they done it again? You know, they really disappeared on map 2, but they've had a day of up and down individual maps, some working really well, some great moments, and some where they've just disappeared. So you never know which version you're going to get. 2 for 1 at the start. The mid-aggression goes untraded. That is a really big deal. Oh no, another one as well. This is really starting to get away for Urax and Onyx. The only 2 that remain, they've expended their last bits of utility, so just going to have to land the headies here.
I wouldn't actually be against a save right now. I know it sounds defeatist, but this feels insurmountable. And their money's a disaster. A bomb plant does not feel likely to me, especially look at the util on the CT side. 1 molly behind the pillar. Surely it becomes near on impossible. Firax finds 2 kills out of nowhere. How dare I say they save? Sashi are snatching defeat from the jaws of victory in this series. What a disaster.
Yeah, literally. It's just insane, isn't it? Cabby shadow spotted, but he doesn't have enough HP to deal.
Oh my god.
Wow. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. They had in the palm of their hand maybe the series. Might be a bit far to say that. We love causing drama, but like definitely the round.
I mean, it almost certainly would have been series point at a minimum.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. I think a timeout needed, but what do you say? You know, it's just, it gets to a point of like, I can't really help you anymore. You know, you're just doing this to yourself. It's crazy.
They've had a few moments on this map. A few moments they didn't have on earlier maps. And Sashi, they're not making this series easy for themselves. The money for both teams is not in a good place at all. Might be straight up at 12 for whoever the victor is in this one. As Dory here goes looking. Mid-util disperse. Very passive stance across the map here from Sashi. There's no AWP unlucky. And we're going straight into phasing in towards this donut smoke. There's nobody home. So we'll get that space for free. And a timely smoke there onto donut. Will they try to beat it? Yes, they will. Straight through. This duel is everything right now. Lucky comes out of Temple in the meanwhile. Forced back in the end. The trades are pretty good for this CT side. And Patty is nearby to this CT smoke. He wants to pounce on the plant. He gets felled. His teammates in Donut are too far behind. What is happening here? Butting heads as the carnage continues. Now we find ourselves in a one-on-one, and this could, frankly, be a lot of this series. Cabby seems to know the players stuck behind this box. Who flinches first? Cabby goes wide. It's very awkward. Shadow spotted. Goes left. Knife wins. TNL. Wow. What a late resurgence in this series.
Man alive. And again, not necessarily gifted, but another unlikely swing moment going their way. I thought with the killing Donut, like what was he doing? A little aggressive there in the smoke, not necessarily needed. But somebody has to be a hero. And I thought that was the moment where the CTs might just complete the retake, but again, not the case. Just unbelievable here as the rounds remain ever unpredictable.
This is a tough day to be a Sashi fan, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. You might not have
Real
any hair
tough.
left, to be honest.
I mean, it'd be such positivity, obviously, off the back of some of their earlier results. I wouldn't be forgiven for feeling, if you were a fan, that you'd come into the series and blast it and just absolutely zoom through 2-0. And it's been anything but. It's been a turbulent affair. Obviously, pistol rounds, early starts to these halves have played a tremendous role in terms of getting to this point in the first place. It's a nice nade stack, but I'm still not buying this. How do you get out of the back lanes? How do you get a good fight? There's another smoke here on Flyer Axe. All they need to do is hold firm and trade each other. And they should be a-okay. Indeed it is. Zyphon should be better on this and just try to save that M4. And believe it or not, TNL have 2 chances to put this series to bed. A series where they've won 0 pistol rounds and 0 reset rounds behind it.
Insane. Absolutely insane kind of stat to pull out, especially in the MR12 era. Just even more of a factor. Sashi, do they have anything left, man? Just crazy. You know, I'm not on the team. I've got no skin in the game, so I can totally sympathize with just how mental it's been the past few days. But this is unreal. So if they are able to find even just one more, I'd be kind of surprised. But if they take us to overtime here at the end of the day, credit to them.
How does TNL want to end this? Heavy B lane. We're going back to our roots. This is how the half started. Util in. Knife in first. Is the AWP holding his back? Awkward fight. Hella awkward. as players stumble over each other. Cabby finds a colossal free piece in the meanwhile. Becky up next. Good flash from Lucky. Should essentially seal the deal here. And I think you called for it. Overtime now looks like, by a long shot, the most likely course.
Again, it ain't over till it's over. It is really not predictable. And look, the buy looks low, but truly anything can happen. I've not had a series like this for a while, you know. Just rolling all over the place. A full bare-knuckle brawl, it feels like. Absolutely mental. Oh, the nade is good. So, a decent way to kick off. That nade is also pretty damn good. The flash comes over. It's going to force them back. They're happy to go for a retake. Becky's patience pays off. Keen find from Dowie, to be fair. They're forcing the plant here. Oh, he's gotten off the bomb. I don't think it's going to have too much of an effect, to be honest. He would have been alone pretty quickly regardless, and it will be overtime to close out the final game here, Alan.
I don't understand what's happening. This is mad. I will say, Sashi, having just fended off a B round, decided to go 3B. And that is actually a really bold call. And they got it right. So big credit to them for that. That is a huge move. Right. Well, I guess one dynamic now, Scrim, is there's no pistol rounds. So, is that the end of Sashi? They've lost their crutch.
I mean, we're about to find out. And I don't know. I don't know. I think that maybe this little reset of the money might do a lot of good work here. Ken. Oh, he loses out. Zyphon for the double, though. That's sort of the important one. I thought maybe with Cabby getting dropped, there might be a threat to the mid control. But there isn't. Little break comes in. Fleerax can't spot anything.
Lyco's looking. Head stack. Sees two. Doesn't need to force this out. It's actually a really tough position for the CTs to maintain, and indeed give it up. Yeah. A series here where fatigue absolutely could be a factor, but we need 5 minutes of focus from these teams. That's all it's going to take. Who's got anything left in the tank?
Yeah, for sure. And it's these kinds of situations as well where it's like man advantage. I don't know if you can really get back in all that well. So we'll see. Trade of flashes. Fleerax on the contact. Nothing spotted as yet. On it, going to make it up ramp. The bomb close behind. Giving a lot of space across here. Shadow spotted. Becky wins it. Low HP bars here as that bomb goes down. Not looking too good. It's a clean double spray down, but he's all alone. 9 HP. Not going to happen. The wallbang clipped him, and Sashi will take the lead.
Better late than never. Guess is the mantra for them. I think Zyphon's probably been their best player today on Sashi. Becky did have his moments, to give him a lot of credit, to be on Nuke. But Zyphon has grown into this map. Am I right in remembering that Dorvey was something like 20 kills 10 rounds ago? I have a feeling he was something like 19 and 6 at some point in this game. That sort of numbers.
And he's just completely disappeared. I think you might be right. It's just been such a topsy-turvy game in that sense as well. Like, people coming back out of nowhere.
Ooh, almost works. Pretty rare you get this deep into a game and see something you haven't so far. That was one of them. No connection, though. At least no frag does connect. And Sashi are going to go solo B. Got A aggression. They need to join the puzzle here. They've got a lot of pieces. They need to work out that A is not a threat right now. A is not under threat. They need to be bolstered.
Oh, missed shot. The AK there to back, however. Zyphon in at middle, not feeling too confident for it. Ken is going to get perfect timing. They've had a really lazy look there. He gets unlucky, to be honest. If he just waited a little before the next fight, he may well have gotten away with a freebie. Still a man advantage. Does come in here. They're
This is mad.
swing into A. They've called it off. They've got a guy deep in B who hears them. Now they're going to rotate back. But surely Dowie not expected. Becky, yeah, goes down. That's got to be the round.
Well, thank goodness they didn't commit in the other direction. Very well played by Dorvey there to take the space, get the communication in. Another headstrong round. I guess plenty of those in this series. A lot of moving parts. Again, is communication at a place now where stuff is getting a little bit lost in the sauce? People are getting tired, and often with communication, it's actually calling what you don't see that makes the difference. I mean, obviously, if you see a player, you're going to say something, but calling out that you've heard no noise and nobody's around, somewhat just as important. On it goes looking. He was the mid-man on this A split, and now it gets much more difficult. Cabby's not getting cleared. Surely not. They've killed a player towards the jump-up area. Cabby can just bide his time. Like candy from a baby. Round lead for Sashi.
All right, here we go. A timeout coming in as well. As Sashi take a slim lead, of course, but it feels pretty massive. Especially in overtime. If they can get this next round. Really, really difficult situation for TNL to deal with, and it just always seems to be that they can pull their finger out, win the impossible rounds. So, again, I'm not saying it's over until it is fully finished here. But Sashi up to 15. At least they secure another overtime, I suppose.
Okay. What next? Mid under fire. Straight through goes Zyphon. Very aggressive mood from the terrorist side, and that has not worked. End of. Cabby gets caught as well, and this round is a complete non-starter. Yes, Becky gets some space on A, but surely with this many numbers, with this much U2, with another man advantage, this is a no-go. Getting this bomb down shouldn't be possible in the first place. Paddy tries to give it a go. There's two more towards Donut. Faces both. Round over. We're back all square at 14 apiece.
TNL then not letting it get to that scary spot. At least not yet. Ultimately comes down to a one-round shootout here, but it's a question of which team will have the upper hand. So a bit more time spent in limbo. What have Sashi got in store? Some very, very early smokes coming across from them. So curious to see what they can do with them. Oh no. Oh no. The entries for TNL look far too good here. There's no real threat. They know that A is somewhat vulnerable, but they will surely be able to retake this kind of situation. I mean,
Am I getting deja vu?
Yeah,
Did both teams call the same round?
Absolutely
It
wild.
feels so close. That's a catastrophe.
They were looking for him as well, right? Like they're sure that they have seen this round already. Oh my goodness, you cannot be serious. He doesn't get the full spray down, but so much damage done here, Alan. Yep, they were ready for Cabby. This is crazy. Patty to save the round.
It's not a good plan for him, you know. He'll have to kill them before they get on this bomb.
Oh my goodness, the double smoke for good measure. He's going to get a nade out. He will go down. He can't save the defuse. It's really damn close, but TNL will get it. They'll be the first to hit. Match point hit.
In overtime, at least. And we're old school, baby. First to 16. Sashi had 2 chances to put this series to bed. One of those was a lesser buy for them, but they had one fabulous opportunity. And now the roles have changed. Dorvey, who had a very dormant 10, 15 rounds, let's say, before overtime, is back. And he is hungry to put this series to bed. What a tremendous recovery it would be from TNL to lose so many pistol rounds, to never blunt Sashi early in any half, and to still recover this series whilst defending a couple series points for good measure right at the end. 5 kills away, just a couple good decisions, one individual outplay, one Dorvey highlight, and Sashi's in the lower bracket.
All 5 shaped up for A as well. So talk about pressure. Khan up high. He does have support as the nades start coming in, but surely they're not going to expect all 5 in A main. First goes down. Where is the trade, guys? Oh, man. Oh, man. Dowie drops another. The Molotov splits them up. The bomb has hit the deck. And it might just be a flawless finish from TNL. Lucky. Alone against the world. They have eyes on mid. They are pretty confident he's in A main. Oh, my goodness. I mean, what do you really do with this? He does get 2, but they just can't lose that round. There's no way they lose that round after all this. 16-14. Another heartbreaking moment for Sashi. They will be knocked down into that super scary lower bracket. Tumultuous time there as the series goes 2-1